Welcome to the first annual St. Thomas Aquinas College debate. Today we'll be talking about how technology affects basic life interactions. So I believe that one of the biggest criticisms of technology nowadays is how it seems to debilitate people's ability to communicate with each other in real life. I think there are a lot of valid points to this case, but I also do believe that there are a lot of social benefits to technology use that a lot of people neglect. And I think it's simply out of ignorance. I'll say one of them is in the business world with sites like LinkedIn, which reportedly 97% of employers use nowadays. It makes it easier than ever for interns and just people seeking employment in general to find jobs. And as far as interviews go, it also makes it easier for people to conduct interviews overseas, for example, because sometimes work isn't always so close to home.
I mean, I kind of do agree. Definitely, a lot of employers nowadays, especially people into the business, depending on business you're on, a lot of people use like LinkedIn and these other type of sites that do hook new applicants with these type of jobs and stuff like that. But think about it as how easy it is for someone to just randomly put some type of information on there that might not be true or might be some type of something that doesn't demonstrate their character or something that doesn't reflect them an honest opinion. Nowadays, the only way for you to know how a person really is and to know the real true background of a person is to meet them face to face. You hear that all the time. I met somebody online and what I saw online is completely different from what I met in person. And I feel that when you're putting, yourself out there online and trying to give yourself a name based on technology, people could take it one way when in reality it could be something totally different, and you don't really know the true necessarily backgrounds when it comes to that. So technology kind of puts a barrier when it comes to interfering with these basic life skills, talking to somebody or having a true connection with someone, because at the end of the day, technology, you don't even know somebody from a face, you know somebody from a keyboard. So that's the way I see it.
I would say that that is a valid point. However, I do think that the advantage of technology in a social context lies in how it makes it easier to initiate communication. If you go online, you have all sorts of websites and forums. One of the most popular ones is Reddit, where people are from all across the world are able to have involved, in-depth discussions about all sorts of subjects online using the site, which can make for a very stimulating experience. Is it face-to-face interaction? No, but people have access to apps such as Tinder and as far as dating goes, dating as well has been facilitated by technology. And even statistically, they say that over 60% of marriages that begin through online dating tend to outlast marriages that begin in face-to-face interactions, with the reason simply being is that without online dating, you have direct knowledge of what this person is interested in, how this person is like, and of course people can lie. That's sort of that's the sad fact about the internet. People can lie, but when you do put your faith into it and when it does work out, it really works out.
Yes, so going based on what you said, I definitely do that there are some benefits if a person comes to be honest, but nowadays, even here with fake news, a lot of people will try to put fake news out there and people will believe it. I know some type of fake news went out on like Facebook or something like that, like social media, that a news story would come out and everybody would think it's real and in actuality it would be fake. You also brought up another point about Reddit, for example. People would try to have these intellectual conversations with each other. They try to devote everything they have into these conversations. But if you look at it from my standpoint, the way I see it is, even though you might be having these interactions with these different people, how do you know that there's not someone else behind the keyboard or behind the mouse than the person you think it's actually talking to you? Basically what I mean is that how do you know that there's not someone else talking to you when you really think it's the actual person. So you have two different people. One person is the person you think it is, but the second person is the one that actually is talking to you on these Reddit posts or these different type of forum posts that you're getting this intellectual knowledge from, yet you're not really benefiting. And at the same time, too, the way I see it is that if you're online giving these type of different Reddit posts and different type of discussions, you're giving some type of information or whatever the case might be. Sometimes it might happen that they get their information from online. And again, there's a lot of fake news going out there. There's a lot of fake information given out. So even though these forums may be very conversational and very intellectual, you don't know if the information that they're getting is valid from to begin with anyway. And might as well just get it from a fake post that someone put out there.
Well, I'll say that when it comes to real life interactions, is that real life interactions tend to be more casual. As for having these kind of discussions online, I think information is information. Irregardless of who the identity of the person whom you're having the conversation with, but I think that it's like I said, it's the casuality of these conversations. So I think that if you're that just simply have the luxury of being able to have these conversations in general through such an easy medium, I think that kind of outweighs the possibility that this information may be false because one, fact checking is easier than ever, and there are a ton of reputable resources that people can refer to, and if even in casual online discussion, if somebody truly cared enough about these facts, then they can either do the research themselves or they can stipulate, hey, can you please provide sources and whatnot. So there's a lot things can be done about that. Thank you. That's all the time we have for today.